Alright, hello everybody. Before we get into this, I would like you to picture a sound for me. That was the noise, the last noise I heard before this game began. It is a blow dryer, not a Hoover. I'm warming up my hands. A Hoover is a vacuum cleaner, by the way. And I'm a bit nervous, because Hoover is a vacuum cleaner. Just in case you're not from Britain. But this is a tournament game versus McJim. And yes, I'm a bit nervous. I haven't played a tournament game in a while, so you might see my villagers bumbling around here because of the lack of dexterity and suppleness that I am having in my fingers. But I did manage to get the Explorer sent straight to the trading post because it is a 200 wood star. I do check that coin treasure there. Sometimes it's not a coin treasure, and that is a macaque, which leads me nicely onto the next point. My native scout is in the middle of the map. That's exactly where I sent him. Those were the two things I did manage to do this game, because goats, livestock, there are lots of them on this map, especially in the middle where you can find them in groups of two, herding that bighorn sheep there. A little bit of again, I'm going to put it down to my cold fingers. He was idle and then moving around. There's two goats there. Come on, other goat, convert, convert. Damn it, convert. There it is. Okay, I was feeling like that in the game, but we do get it in the end. Two goats there. Everywhere else on the map, sort of around the edges and the corners, you can only find them in groups of one. You see like this one next to the trading post here. Villager just queued, I think that was 7 seconds of idle time when I watched it back on the recording, and we'll talk about how that impacts the game later. But now we're sort of moving some of those wood villagers off onto food. I want to sort of begin herding these goats before they get too far away. I'm approaching that 100 wood mark, and I don't want to go over. Putting all three of them in the town centre. Herding with 3 villagers? I could have sent one a bit sooner and then swapped the other 2 over. But ultimately, it's okay. I didn't overgather on the wood, and I can get that house down nicely. Going to the middle, here's the big food treasures and wood treasures that Kamchatka hosts. Really, that's where I should be going, and is why I didn't pick up that treasure in my base there. I wanted to get straight to the trading post so that afterwards I could get straight to the middle and start contesting these big treasures. And ultimately, that is something I think I could have done better this game. My Explorer took a bit of an awkward path, scouting sort of the left-hand side here, and it means I could have been to the centre quickly. And as you can see, Jimmy's going for 80 food there, and if no guarantee I would have gotten it, but if I was here sooner, I could certainly give him a go. Instead, I do manage to get him into hand combat, which is nice, because now he has to go back to his base, and in the meantime, my scout can sort of go up the right-hand side, that easterly side, and find more goats to bring home. And I even bring his scout home. Maybe, I don't know, his scout might have been in the area, so he thought, whilst I'm here, I might as well start attacking. But if I did manage to make Jimmy pull his scout away from, that bottom part of the map, which hasn't been explored yet, I might have secured myself even more goats with this hand combat play. Getting a bit close to his town centre now, so going to switch out of melee mode and let him get away. No more snaring effect, but 2 shots of damage I was able to do before he walks out of range. Really, I'm just avoiding the town centre. I don't want to get too close. It does represent quite a lot of damage, and if I get right underneath it, he might put villagers in the town centre and start shooting at me, which wouldn't be too good. But I've done enough damage. I've sort of forced him home, done some, combat damage, and sort of denied that scouting on the bottom half of the map where the remaining goats are, which I am heading, picking myself up one as we speak. And also there's a coin treasure here as well, which is going to be nice for that hunting dogs and steel traps, which I'll be getting during transition. And now I decide to go for it, but I think, oh, better keep the goat close. I don't want to lose the goat should he sort of send the scout or explorer. Here he is. I don't want to lose the goat. But able to get the treasure anyway. I've started it, and the macaques are quite easy to kill. I can crack shot that last one, pick myself up the coin. And he's not going to hand combat me here because I have more hit points than he does. We made sure of that. The Colonial Age 100 food late here, that last villager just being created. I'm going to put it down to the 7 seconds of idle time that I mentioned earlier. So not too good, going to delay my shipment progression and the rest of my build order by a little bit. But ultimately, not too bad. I think Age 1 went pretty well for me here. I got lots of goats, which I was really pleased with. He did get the 80 food treasure, and my treasures weren't quite so good. But I did manage to hand combat him there and push him all the way back to my base. With all things said and done, I think I have 7 goats total once they all get home, including the ones that I'm going to continue scouting. And we're both there at the same time. I wonder how that actually works, this goat conversion thing, because it doesn't happen instantly. It takes a moment to convert, and his scout was there at the same time as mine. 1 each, though, is pretty fair. Now going to creep this treasure, get far away enough from the tigers that they have to run back, and then turn around just at the right moment to shoot them and get a few extra shots in. Crack shot the full HP one, and then go back to fighting the low HP one. I can't get close to the treasure though, which is annoying. Those tigers would absolutely rinse me if I tried to walk up to the treasure. And ideally that is what I would do. I'd be right next to the treasure before killing the Guardian, just in case he was in the area as well and wanted to steal it from me. And he is in the area. I didn't know this. This is why I went for the treasure. But if you look at the score, yeah, he's just gotten that second trading post. It's just gone up there. But I have no scouting information of this. I don't see it on the minimap. Perhaps that's something I could have checked, especially since my scout was so close. But had I seen him building that, I don't think I would have gone for the gold treasure because, you know, he can see it. He's right there. He could have stolen it from me. Instead, I just have gone for this 50 wood treasure, which I'm going to get once my crack shot recharges. But, you know, could have just gone for that and then gone back for the coin treasure. And both of us can be in that area and, you know, posture nearby. The Colonial Age, though, is well underway now. First shipment in queue is 4 villagers. Going to lay down a stable and 2 houses with that wood. And during transition, I managed to get hunting dogs, placer mines, the greatcoats upgrade, which is just completed there, and enough wood for steel traps as well, which I have gotten up. There's the second house going down now. Alright, the game plan. So what I'm thinking is, he has an extra trading post. I don't like that. Gonna pick myself up 50 wood there, nice. But look, he has a stable too. How's he gonna get his 5 hussars out? That's what I'm thinking. Like, if he's gone for that extra trading post and gotten hunting dogs, placer mines, and steel traps like I have, there's no way he's gonna get a batch of 5 cav out. Because even I'm going to be pressed for 5 cav, and I didn't make it stable, right? Getting 5 cav out is, usually you can get it, but it's always a bit of a squeeze. You need to make sure your macro is spot on, otherwise you're not going to be able to quite get there. And sometimes, you know, if it's been a horrible game, I might skip the placer mines or the greatcoats or something, just to make sure you get that 5th cav batch out, and then you can go back and get those upgrades later. So I'm thinking, I'll make my 5 cav, I'll rush over to that trading post, I'll get my explorer on it right now, and then I can start sieging it down and getting it out. Get that 5th cav! Yes, I remember. I've started using hotkeys recently. I've managed to, you just click the building or the hotkey for the building and then press a little button on your keyboard and it trains, and it's so much better. It saves you a lot of extra time, and you can use that time, that APM, doing something else in the game. But yeah, gonna rush over here. The most he's gonna be able to get outright is like 3 cav or something if he's lucky. And what are they gonna do? Just turn up here and start fighting me? I don't think so. 5 cav will absolutely rinse them. So this is like a free trading post is what I'm thinking. But he does have 5 cav there. So I'm like, oh, so I get back. I don't want to engage, but he gets back too. We're just gonna posture around here. Before we engage in the cav fight, it's always best to sort of have, you know, just to make sure you're going to get the best fight possible. What I mean is, especially at our rank, he wants to engage my cav whilst I'm sort of AFK, whilst I'm like in my base, tending to my vills or doing something else. But here the fight's going to get underway. I brought my explorer in and I brought my scout in. What I'm hoping is one of his cav will target the explorer or the scout or something like that one there. It doesn't knock for long. But then I see 3 more cav turn. I'm like, holy shit, I'm getting out of here. Where do you get them from? So I sort of try and escape best I can. I trained a few extra cavs, thankfully. I like to have an extra cav in queue. I don't always make it. Sometimes I delete it from the queue. But if I do want an extra batch of 5, it's nice to have that option. And here, I got 4 hussars out, not 5. And that's good because they can come into the fight here. Try to focus 1 cav down and then move on to the next one. I don't want to spread my fire too much and sort of like, you know, go too thin. I want to focus one down and then move on to the next one and focus that. And the problem with that, though, is you often walk around blundering into each other. For him, he's able to spread a lot better. Maybe his micro is a little bit better too as well. But the result is he ends up with 3 fairly low HP cav, and that's gonna be enough to idle my town center a little bit. Here I buy a little bit of food. My macro was a little bit off because my attention was on the fight and not in the base, but that's okay because I can quickly buy 100 food, which is, don't like to use the market, but it's okay every now and again, and I can quickly eat a goat there. As you can see, cav are now coming in to scare my villies off. I've got to keep them safe, keep them in the town center. That great coat's going to be really useful here, and I do get that age up in queue, and off he goes. Got 10 villagers in the town center, and now they're going back to work. Overall, I think ultimately he won age 2. I won age 1, but his, you know, the cav fight for him went much better. He came out on top with 3 and was able to come in and raid my villages, you know, idle me up a little bit. And he could be doing that again now with them, but I imagine he's doing what I'm doing. He's a bit busy sort of making houses and a barracks or something like that. Not a disaster though. I haven't lost any villagers. Not any villagers yet. He's coming back in there, going to idle me up again, and that's the beauty of coming out on top. I have exactly 10 villagers in my base. Pick up that villager on the top there, bringing him in, and I'm going to get those I've got 13 in there, so I'm going to bring those 3 out, maintain 10, and I'm not worried about these vills here because those cav are very low HP, and the town centre is also providing covering fire. Now back to work, and I wonder how many resources that is, but he's done some damage. But again, no villagers lost, which is good. And how did he get that extra trading post? He must have skipped hunting dogs or steel traps or placer mines or something like that. So yes, he won the cav fight. I got all my upgrades in on time, so by no means a disaster, except that herd there. That was pretty disastrous. But thankfully, now we're in the Fortress Age. I've got 2 batches of units almost done, and that shipment as well. I'm okay. Plus, he has no cav. I killed them all. So, it's okay for this herd to be bad. Obviously, I prefer it in my base. This kind of sucks. Going to finish off that house. Looks like the raiding also kind of stopped me from building that. But I'm going to start heavy on skirmishers in the French Mirror. I think that's a pretty good thing to do. 5 coming out here. I'm favouring the skirmisher batch over the goon batch. I only got 4 goons there. I was trying to get the 5th skirmisher in before I started queuing up the extra goons. And then I go 8 skirms as my first shipment, followed by 7 skirms after that. Alright, units are out. First things first, let's race on over to this trading post so that we can continue sieging it. The Explorer gets revived, which is nice. I'm going to add him to my skirmisher group since he's a ranged unit. I don't want him in the goon group, that would slow him down. And it seemed like a good idea at the time to send the goons first. They move faster, right, so they can get there sooner and start sieging, and the skirms will catch up later. But, as you can see, I now realise that sending the goons first, probably not a good idea since skirms, well, they do ×2 damage versus dragoons, and I just lost the goon for pretty much no reason there. So really should be having the skirms or the Explorer out on the front. So if he does just take a pot shot, at least one of, the goon won't take the damage. You should have them on the back nice and safe. But an extra batch of 5 and the shipment of 7 are arriving now, really getting that skirm mass going, and that's what's important in this matchup. Alright, he's retreating. Let's siege the trading post again. Goons are on the front though, so I'll have to bring them back, bring the skirms forward. Goons are safely at the back, sieging. Here's his skirms again. That Explorer of his on the front, which is nice, so I can't just attack move because he'll soak up all the damage. I want to focus skirms here because they're the real damage dealers. A lot of my skirms at the back, they're not in range. I need to walk forward a bit better. Look at all of his skirms. They've got a nice concave. Mine, not so good. Here comes some goons though, so I'm going to shoot them. I really want to attack move onto them because that's where the good value damage comes from, right? The skirmish and multipliers really going to be nice there. But really just continuing to skirmish. I have a lot of villagers on gold. That's okay though, because I've got lots of goats, remember, and I can just eat the goats, or I have been eating the goats just to help out with my macro, keep my resource piles balanced for skirmisher production. They're going to bring those 3 skirms in. Really, they should be fighting. Trading post does go down, and now by the looks of it, he is trying to get out of there. So I'm going to send 1,000 wood. French Mirror, all about eking out the eco advantage. If I can sneak in a town centre and have that work in a way, not only is it going to gain me some map control in the middle of the map, because, garrisoning villages is pretty good in that, and also it has access to Minutemen and is a home city shipment point. It just provides a lot, and also it's going to, over time, I'm slowly going to build up more villages. At least that's how I felt during the game. I really wanted a town centre is the point I'm making. It might not necessarily be the best decision, but that's what I've just explained is how I feel about that wood. Certainly there are other things I could do with it, the wood that is, or even the shipment I suppose. We'll talk more about that later. Currently though, in my base, I'm being a bit timid. I'm really afraid of a cav switch. I really don't want to see cuirassiers from him. Batch of 5 skirms, can we get them queued? Correct the hotkey interjection, he does it. 5 come out just in time, and the 5th goon as well. What a pro. Oh, baby, I love these hotkeys. Hardest thing ever to get used to, but once you do, so worthwhile. The training unit hotkeys, revolutionary. Leading in with the goons, Interjection, what are you doing? 2 goons go down for free, and if I've learned anything from this game versus McJim, it is that your goons should not be out ahead, guns blazing, YOLO swaggins. That's how you lose units for free. They should be at least somewhere near your skirmishers for protection. Here comes his dragoons, so gonna bring mine forward. He gets back, so I bring mine back, and just skirmishing with the goons in the middle. His Explorer there, gonna tank up a whole volley, which is nice. That's maybe 2 or 3 skirms saved for him, and I'm sending 1,000 gold. Holy shit, look at my food pile! We see a Gannon's out of that, so that's what he's sending, whilst I'm sending some gold. And suddenly I have to get out of here because I just lost a bunch of skirms, and also there's no way I can stand up to the Falx, especially this poorly macroed. I mean, look at this nonsense, floating 1,700 resources, more goons going down, wonderful. Oh, and I hope there's enough time to even gather that gold up, let alone queue some units with it. Just classic interjection play, sending the 1,000 wood, because, yes, it's a great shipment, but only if you can actually use it. He left that Hussar there the whole time. Remember from the early Age 2 raids, So he has this scouted. He just left that there to, you know, perhaps AFK raid. But it had such low hit points that I was able to deal with it because I saw it straight away. So that's good. But yeah, I'm thinking, right, I need to build my town center. So I'm going to buy back my explorer. But where do I put it? I can't put it in the middle of the map. I mean, I think about it. That's where I really wanted it to go. But, yeah, over here. That'd be great. But I can't, because he has a cannons, and probably way more skirms than me. So, gonna stick it there. Which is not an ideal placement, given that that coin mine's probably nearly out, and this hunt certainly is running out too. It's not really doing anything for map control. I'm basically a shipment behind. He has cannons, and I have fucking a bunch of useless wood. Here he is, though. And this is where I'm gathering, this is it. What can I do against this? I suppose I ought to be kiting my skirms back towards my Coureur de Bois so that they can sponge up some damage, and if the fighting continues they can help. But no, he just leaves. Where's he going? I mean, he's got 2 cannons as well. He could be punishing that town centre and the other construction. And that's where all my villagers are, but he just gets going, so why? I guess the only thing... In the game, the only thing I could think of is he thinks I have a bunch of cuirassiers, right? Like, why would he just leave? He had so many skirms. He must be afraid of me having Kev. He thinks that I have a bunch of cuirassiers already built, and maybe I've got 5 about to pop. Because, I mean, look at my skirm count. It's so low. I've so few skirmishers. I have to be training something else. The truth is that I'm training loads of dragoons, which I shouldn't be. I've been over-making them. I should have added in a barracks sooner, which I've now done, and be making skirms from 2 Rexes. Actually, that's definitely a good thing to do in the French mirror. But him leaving here and not punishing me has given me the time I need to get back in the game, right? I've managed to spend all of those resources that I was stacking earlier, and I've got the next shipment on the way, and we've got a pretty legitimate actual cav switch coming. So basically, I'm back in the game. He handed me a get-out-of-jail-free card, but to be fair, I did the exact same thing earlier for him when we were fighting in the middle of the map next to his extra trading post. 3 cuirassiers coming in for a raid here. But all of my units here, so they're going to be punished quite hard for that. I think what he was trying to do was, you see all of those units in my base, he wants me to be focusing on that. I'm panicking, I'm trying to set up something to deal with this, and whilst I'm not looking at my settlers, he's sort of raiding them with the 3 cuirassiers. So, nice try, but that didn't go to plan here. Basically, we're just playing not to lose. Both of us are making very timid decisions because we're afraid of losing. This is a tournament game after all, but here we go. Cuirassiers coming in, the 5 I trained plus 3 earlier from the shipment there, trying to get onto the cannons. Goons coming in, they want to take down the cannons as well. Both cannons go down, and now I can get my goons out of here because I don't want to be, I don't want his skirmishers attack moving onto me. They do the extra damage, but I can actually leave the goons where they are because the cuirassiers, they're taking a lot of damage. 23 idle settlers, let's sort them out. Misclick the hunt, and now back to the fight. All of my cav are dead, so he's going to try and start retreating here. I should move my skirms and goons as far forward as possible, as close to him as I can, so that I can get as many shots as possible whilst he's retreating. Not a huge fan of my goons taking all this damage, so I'm going to send the 2 cannons and then pull them away there. And now he's a little bit out of range, but I can try and get some final shots on him just before he's out of range here. But that fight went really well. I got the cannons, got lots of value, and now I'm able to gather again in the middle of the map. I've taken back map control, and down here I can now sort of just abandon the pursuit, that retreat. That macaque there is tanking that whole volley, really nice. And you can see he's down here, right? I can't really kill any of these villagers since they're basically invincible with their ranged resist and their super much HP, and, well, goons only do half damage against the villagers anyway, but at least I can force him away from where he's gathering, and instead of just chasing his army into some random corner of the map, I kind of force his army to come towards me, and I'm sort of, you know, threatening his army and his villagers. Get two birds with one stone here. Skirmishing here in the middle of the map. Fairly even fight, so I'm just going to pop away. I've got 5 idle villagers and way too many on food. So just going to sort out my macro, get everything looking nice. Pop back to the fight. Oh, time to go. I see he's got more goons there. And I'm going to retreat back towards my villagers. I get the blunderbuss upgrade for those villagers as well, because if we're going to fight, the villagers are going to be really helpful. As I said earlier, they can sponge. Here he is. He's shooting at my villagers. Does manage to take one out, which is annoying. But I don't mind too much. I've got my cannons nearly here. And if he's shooting at my vills, well, my skirms can shoot back at his, basically for free. Here we have 5 goons and 5 skirms, idle ones. Pretty annoying, since they could have been up here making a difference sooner. But either way, doesn't really matter now. Cannons are in position, and all of my units are up here. I've got the map control in the middle of the map. I see some skirms with my goons. I think he's trying to chase towards them. Getting my cannons into position, luring him towards me. Come on, can we get a volley? Not quite. Just out of range. Oh well, we'll go back to the trading post. I can siege that down and then take that for myself. I've got a few vills on wood and a few idle ones which I'm about to put on wood since I want to get some wood for the trading post that I'm about to take down, then I can build it myself. And at this point in the game, the stagecoach upgrade is probably fine. Normally I wouldn't get it if my opponent had, you know, a foothold on the route, and I guess there's only three posts, so him having one is like him having 33% of the route. You wouldn't really want to upgrade that for your opponent, but at this point in the game, given we both have like 45 villager economies, actually I think mine's higher since I've had a second town centre working away all this time. It's okay to get that stagecoach upgrade. The villager seconds now aren't as big of a deal as they were earlier for that upgrade, and over time it's, you know, I've got 2 posts, it's going to benefit me more than him. Really pleased with this position in the game though at the moment. Shipment does become available, but I have a score lead, I have a villager lead, or at least I think I do. I haven't seen a town centre from him, and safe resources in the middle of the map. Cavalry combat, interesting choice. I don't actually have that many cuirassiers. But here's that map control coming into play, right? Because I'm in the middle of the map, it's the gateway to the rest of everywhere else. I can get to anywhere I need to be quickly, to any other point of the map quickly. I really want to sit in the middle because I can respond very quickly to where he is, and that's what I'm doing here. Trying to get my cannons into position. I see loads of skirmishers there, so I'm going to bring my cuirassiers down. But the cannons, what are they doing? They're just walking around. I tried to hotkey them. I normally hotkey them, but I think I was mistapping the wrong hotkey, or they weren't hotkeyed or something like that, and they just got shot, and they didn't really do any damage. Either way, this positioning is really good for me. My cuirassier is on top of his skirms, and his goons, yes, they're doing damage against my cuirassiers, but look, my skirms, I didn't even have to do anything. They're just fighting the right units. Perfect. In the meantime, that cannon was kind of being shot at by CDB, which wasn't too good since they do have that ×2 multiplier. But now I can just sort of chase them down. I got a really good fight, and I've got to push him off his hunts yet again. Off he goes to gather somewhere else on the map. And that's the interesting thing at this 20+ minute mark. Where is left to gather on the map? Definitely the question. Oh, unexpected skirmisher mass. Get out of here. Go, go, go. Retreat. That's what I'm thinking in the game. What are these villagers doing? I don't know, retask them to food, sort out this macro. I got a bit too much gold. Ooh, losing units there. I shouldn't really be afraid of this fight. Like, I have more units than he does, but because they're just turned up unexpectedly, I'm just surprised, and my natural reaction is just to retreat. That's a blending in CDB, which he manages to escape there. I didn't notice it because it was, you know. Alright, most important thing right now, where is left to gather? He has 2 coin mines in his base, but they can't possibly be still there since, well, I don't have any mines in my base. They've been used up. The coin mine on the very bottom of the map, I think that's probably been used up as well. And there's 2 coin mines quite close to where I am standing at the moment with my units and army. I've got that one that they're all gathering from, and that one there. So where is left? I think there's also sort of, I've got line of sight, got villagers on one near the trading post as well. I think that's got about 1,000 left in it, maybe less than that. So it's kind of, yeah, here. It's getting exhausted. So where is he going to be? It's going to be on that far left portion of the map, or perhaps in that dark spot that I haven't explored, because, you know, on that left-hand side he's got hunts there, and he has a coin mine. So I'm sending these rallied goons that I just created over, and I luck out. I find an explorer, and he's building an outpost, probably because he had some excess wood kicking around. Since I did kick him off a lot of resources, he wasn't able to gather food and coins, so he might have just been tasked to wood whilst there was nothing else to do. So tower seems pretty good there. He wants to control those last spots of resources. But I'm going to bring my units in. I want to contest that, so I'm bringing the skirms down. Refrigeration about to get in, and the log flume improvement as well. I'm going to have to start chopping a lot of wood, so maybe eco theory would have been better than refrigeration. Going to shoot some of these vills dead and push him off his hunt. Speaking of hunt, I haven't got any. Everyone is on gold, so I think eco theory would definitely have been better. I'm thinking about circular saw there as well. I just need to gather, you know, quite a lot of wood for mills. Yeah, I didn't get circular saw in the end though. I thought I'd spend that last drop of food on skirmishes, because what's really important here is capturing those last few resources and doing well in this fight. Even those CDBs I'm training are just not worthwhile. I should be making skirms out of them. I'm now being pushed back. I don't have enough skirms. Like, the key problem this game, or at least in this late part of the game, is I made too many dragoons. I always do this. This is classic interjection play. I'm always way too afraid of a cav switch, and I overmake goons, and I've had 5 idle skirms. That definitely hasn't been helping. I think really I just need to stop making goons when I get about 20 of them, or just enough really to one-hit kill a cuirassier, first mill going down there, and I've got enough resources for the second mill. This is what the problem is, right? Look, I have no hunts and no way to make more units. Thankfully, food income will resume shortly, but yeah, he's really pushing me back. It's not good. I wouldn't be in this situation if I had made more skirmishers instead of dragoons, because then he wouldn't be pushing me back quite so hard, and maybe I'd even be pushing him back, but retreating towards my my settlers. That's why I put these mills here, so that I could use the settlers as sponges. I do buy some food, because I really need the skirmishers. If I lose this location, I lose all this infrastructure. And I'm even thinking about sending those 5 goons, which I just cancelled. Instead, I'm going to send refrigeration. But I just need militariness. I need to be able to defend. I appreciate now that location for those mills probably wasn't so good, since I have 2 town centres on a different part of the map. But as I said, I was kind of thinking about I want to defend with my villagers too. Ultimately, though, unit choices aside, this isn't going too bad. I have a score lead, I have a villager lead, and I've got infrastructure down now for food income, and I've still got some mines. There's only 12 gold left in that mine there, so I just put the 1 CDB on, but the other mine's still got quite a lot in it, and I've got some villagers in the middle of the map gathering coin near the trading post, which he's now taking down, so I should probably move those villagers. Going to retask my trading posts over to wood. Artificial fertilizer coming in, as well as royal mint, so those upgrades looking really good for the long game, coming in thick and fast now, and everything's set up. Going to bring my units over, going to pick up my explorer here with this skirmisher, put him in the control group. I might want to build a trading post. Actually going to go for a town centre as well, and goons dying! Will I ever learn? Oh, look at all these goons, just dropping dead. Nice one, always keep them back. Apparently I don't ever learn anything, and yeah. I mean, like, I just spent this whole time making way more goons than I actually needed, and then I just throw them all in there and lose them as well. It's just like, what am I even doing? It's okay though, we're still ahead for all of the reasons I said before. First things first though, retreat. Let's finish up these skirm batches. Add them to the skirm group, that's the first one, and there is the other skirmishers, we'll put them in the group, and here's 5 more, we'll add them. I've added a couple of them. Town centre, probably not the best decision given that I'm actually quite close to the 80 villager limit, and that 600 wood probably could have been a plantation. Gonna lay down another mill, that's an interesting decision. Oh, actually I have an extra mill to put them on, I think I must have retasked some villages from wood to coin. The gold mine's about to run out though. There it is. So now I need another plantation. So I could have 2 plantations down at this point if I hadn't built that town centre. So now I'm just going to be stacking food, which is a bit awkward. And if he pushes in here, which he's going to do, I see him. I'm a bit worried. This could spell the end for Interjection. All of these mistakes leading up to this. Thankfully, though, I do have my villagers nearby, and I can call Minutemen, and I can put people in the town centre. But still a little bit frightening. Okay, first plantation going down. This should have been a while ago. I should have known that the coin would be disappearing soon. Actually, he retreats. This is good for me. Really good for me that he leaves. I think this is like opportunity number 3 that I've been given as a get-out-of-jail-free card. Which goes to show, you know, just being 50 points up doesn't win you the game in this last portion. Always should be making the right units, that kind of thing. Bookkeeping, gonna get that coin upgrade in. And I think the reason he's not pushing is because he saw these 5 cuirassiers and expected that I would have more very soon, and he doesn't have that many goons. Ooh, that's not good. I don't really want to be losing my cuirassiers like that. No. Well, he does have some goons, clearly. But he sees that stable next to my town centre. I've got one in my base as well. He just saw those 5 cuirassiers. Well, I guess 3 now since he's killed some. The point is I could have, 15-ish cuirassiers any moment now. And he's got tons of skirms. Way more skirms than he has goons. So that's going to be pretty good. Especially since I have cavalry combat. But yeah, he doesn't realise that I have no coin income. So I'm not going to have 15 goons. I'm only going to get, I think, these 2 out by the looks. Perhaps 4, actually, there. Yeah, but that's not going to be enough to do any sort of damage. So he could be pushing in, and that would be quite successful, because all I could do is really kite back into my villages. And if he's, if he aims well, if he micros properly and doesn't target too many villages, then he could do a lot of damage. Eco Theory coming in, which is going to be good. Just got the 2nd plantation down, so that coin income going to be rolling in nice and fast. I have my 3rd plantation down soon as well, I'm sure. But actually, at this point in the game, whilst I am eager to get those eco upgrades in, I think a military upgrade could be better here. Perhaps the skirmisher combat one. Or at least the Wilderness Warfare, that's what it's called. It gives 20% to villagers and skirmishers, which would be especially nice if the situation I just described were to come about. Also another cavalry upgrade, that could work, but I'm going to be pushing soon, like, that's the point. The military upgrade is going to be more impactful there. Third plantation does go down, so I think his window to do any kind of damage has now passed, and I'm going to be absolutely okay here. One of the mills, I've taken 10 villagers off it. Oh, 5 skirms, which I've noticed, and I'm going to go sort them out with my whole army. I wonder if really the whole army was needed. That does leave that sort of side exposed whilst I'm going to be over there just dealing with the 5 skirms. Probably only needed some of my skirms, or really my cavalry actually, though I don't really want to show him that I have too many cavalry units, but I guess he already knows I'm making cavalry. Right, sold some food at the market, going to get those last batches done. 4 and 5, pretty good. That brings me up to 16 cuirassiers, or cuirassiers, I have no idea. Can we get somebody who is French? Could we please be told how to say that? That would be executed, that native scout. He must have been there the whole game, actually. I think my explorers only just found him. Anyway, have an idle mill there. I will put 10 villagers on that soon. I just want to get one more plantation down. But the more interesting thing is I am pushing with 16 cuirassiers, queuing up some halbs there. Whoops, it's the same hotkey for the cuirassier. I must have pressed it on the Rex. There we are, fixed it out there. We've got skirmishes instead. That's what I want. Here are his goons. I'm going to be shooting them. I see the skirms to the south there. Maybe I should go for like a flank, go in between these ponds and go around and try and capture him from behind. That would be cool. Instead, I'm just going to go straight in with the skirmishes. I'm eager to finish this game. It is a tournament game. Lots of skirms there. These cuirassiers are going to be super nice. And no, they're the dragoons, but there's not going to be enough of them to really attack move right onto those. It's so juicy watching this back. Oh, I love it. And here it doesn't really matter what the cuirassiers are doing damage to, because cavalry, they have a static damage. It doesn't matter what that unit is that they're fighting. It always does that same amount of damage. And in a way, killing the goons might even be better than the skirmishes, as they're the things that counter the cuirassiers there. Also targeting villagers. They are perhaps the only thing I should be avoiding, but not going to make too much difference at this point because I have a superior economy, way more villagers. I've fully transitioned over to mills and plantations. And I've got more units here as well. So just all of the windows have closed, and now I am truly able to finish this game here. I was just waiting really for the resource incomes to get back to me, and then I was able to finish the game. It felt like I was waiting for the last 5 minutes for that to happen. Last few goons do come out, but it's not going to be enough. The cuirassiers have done their job. The upgrade, perhaps not the most useful one here. Perhaps the native warrior thing I mentioned earlier would be. Certainly the upgrade I'm sending now would be good if I had sent it when I was sending Eco Theory. Send it instead of Eco Theory. But here the game plan now is to go kill that trading post and recapture the route, whilst making sure no one is gathering on these mills, and perhaps send off those cuirassiers to go look for other locations that he might be building plantations and mills in there. But Jimmy does say GG. He's very, very respectful about it. It was lovely playing him. I, however, am a bit of a dick and go, GG, only got 45 minutes left, out. And at the time that was true, because we were playing this series between what is known as a split shift. I had a 3-hour break before I had to go back to work, so I was trying to get these in quickly, and I didn't realise it would take 31 minutes, and I thought, oh god, we might have to play 2 more of these, and I don't have the time for that, so I was eager to get on with the next one. But me and Jim, we spoke lots. We speak lots outside of ESO, and we're good friends, so yeah, don't really need to justify myself there. What am I doing? But here are the graphs. I managed to pull them out of Kaiser Queen's commentary, which is available, or will be available, on the ESOC TV YouTube channel, so do check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and do leave a like if you enjoyed the video.